Two Sides, Spiteful and Determined. Chapter 9. No More Games. The bounties made their way to the stone staircase just to be met with Marcos heading down. "Where are you heading?" Scott asked. Marcos held up his cigarette box. Beth laughed. "When has that ever stopped you from smoking inside your home?" "Is Gabriel in there?" Grace asked. Marcos nodded. Scott replied, "Good, then we will just show ourselves in." Justin stared deep into Marcos's eyes as they crossed paths. "Justin thought I see through you." The door was cracked partly open as Scott pushed his way through. "Gabriel?" Marcos let us in. Gabriel came shaking from the bathroom. Scott motioned for the boys to go investigate. "Where is your son?" Beth exclaimed. Gabriel threw his hands up as he sat down on the couch. I don't know. Scott groaned, "We tell you this every time we are here. You get on the phone right now and try calling." Hey, look at this." Dewey held up two little white packages. "We had some floaters in the toilet." No, those aren't mine," Gabriel defended. Beth shouted, "We saw you come from the bathroom when we walked in." Dewey chimed in, "It can't be Marcos's because he quit hardcore drugs a long time ago." Scott got right in front of Gabriel. "Look man, we are running out of time. No more games. Either we put Antonio in jail or you're going to have to come up with $100,000 to pay his bail." "I don't have that kind of money," Gabriel cried. "Then you stop this madness and give up your son." "I swear to God, this case is making me lose all my hair," Beth stated. While the rest of the family was distracted with Gabriel, Dewey snuck out the door to follow Marcos. "Gabriel, let me have a heart-to-heart moment with you. My folks have been in the bail bonds business for a very long time. They went down that career path when I started getting into trouble, and you best believe they scared me straight at a young age. Even if they weren't bail bondsmen, they would give me up in an instant if I was wanted. You wanna know why? It's because they are parents first. Actually when my sons were getting into trouble, I scared them straight too. One of them didn't realize what he was doing and it ended up killing him. What I'm trying to say is Antonio is still young enough to where he can change his lifestyle, but he is old enough to where he needs to take control." Gabriel fidgeted in his seat. The room was quiet as everyone awaited a response from Gabriel. Just then Dewey appeared back in the apartment. "Dad, I just got a hot lead on a location of one of our fugitives and I think we need to go now." The bounties quickly ran to the cars and passed Marcos on the way down. The roads that lead out of Los Campos were pitch black. Not one living soul was out of the city, nor would they want to be. The headlights of the two SUVs only lit up the road in front of them. Everyone, including the radios, were quiet. A long day was about to turn into another long night. Scott came over the radio. "Do we know exactly where this place is?" Dewey, in Beth's car, replied, "No, but Marcos said you can see it from the road. It's going to be a neon sign that says Boomtown Motel." "Do we need to get external support out here? Is this even still in our jurisdiction?" Justin asked. Grace checked the map then came over the radio. "We are in the clear. We haven't crossed the county line yet." "Perfect. Everyone better be already suited up because we just need to grab the pepperball guns then rush up to the room. Justin, I want you to surround the back just in case. Most likely since this is a janky motel there is only one way into the rooms," Scott ordered. Dewey smiled in the dark. "Finally, I am chosen to take control during the action," he thought. "I'll watch the front. If the girls are in there then I'll run up there to get them, but if they try to run we will have the place surrounded," Grace said. Justin looked out the window, "Plus they have nowhere to go around here." The bounties drifted the cars into the empty parking lot. The kids hopped out before Scott and Beth could even put the cars in park. Scott whispered, "Watch the grounds, I need to go find out what room they are in." Beth tagged along with a wanted poster for all of them. "How's it?" "We are looking for a group of fugitives that we got a lead on saying they are hiding out at this motel." "What room are they in?" Scott asked. Beth held up the wanted poster. The front desk lady looked to the key rack behind her to see one set of keys missing, then back at Scott. Hotel policy states we can't give out that information. But if you look closely, that will answer your question. Scott and Beth bolted back outside and quietly spread the information. Justin dodged through the bushes and rocks to get around to the dark, scary backside. Out of all these rooms, there was only one room lit up. "Justin, watch it!" Scott yelled. "We don't know how many people are in there." Grace stood on the ground level while Beth and the boys snuck up the stairs to the second level. They tried to camouflage into the night, but the motel lights gave them away. When passing by the rooms, they crawled and ducked under the windows. Scott could feel in his bones that they weren't the only people here. Dewey got to the other side of the door while. "Don't think we won't kick this door in," shouted Scott. Beth banged the door with the back of her high heel. "Guns, grab the guns and circle around the back," Scott ordered as the rest of the crew pulled up. "Check all windows. Nobody's getting out of here," Dewey added. Beth remained in front of the door. "This is your last chance to come out peacefully." No response. "Kick it in," Beth yelled. Shouting turned into silence. Scott led the way into the room. "Search every inch of it. They are some sneaky bastards. I'm sure one is hiding in here somewhere." "It's empty," Dewey stated. Beth and Grace stood in the doorway. "No way this happened to us 2 times in a row," Grace commented. Beth shook her head. "Just keep running. You'll eventually see who will win this race." Scott kicked the side of the bed. "Damn it. We were so sure they would have been here. There is no possible way they could have fled that past. Check the entire premises, they could still be around here. Go now." "Grace, stay and search the room for any evidence," Beth said. "Footprints in the gravel?" Justin questioned. "They were definitely here," he thought to himself. Grace called from the room. "Hey, Dad. I think I found something. Someone was definitely here." Scott rushed in to find a little white package pushed underneath the sink. "You can see residue from white powder on the edge of the sink," Grace pointed out. "Yup, that's definitely cocaine. The excess in that bag needs to be destroyed. Go outside to smush it and put water on it." "On it, Dad," Grace replied. Beth walked in the bathroom. "It's hard to say if this was a setup by the Mendozas or if they actually were hiding out here. I mean, there was coke on the counter, so I know somebody was here. I don't know what to think anymore. At this point, I don't trust any of what Gabriel or Marcos are saying anymore. I know they are guilty, but we don't have anything to prove it," Scott voiced. "Before we leave, let's go down to the office just to let them know to keep an eye out if they come back," Beth stated. Every day began to be repetitive. Every time the Bounties got a lead, the carry-on circle was one step ahead. Someone was doing an inside sabotage job. The finger was being pointed in many directions, but this time it was narrowed down to the person who had been the most helpful. Marcos. The next morning, Scott woke up with a loss of motivation, but had a feeling today was going to be different. The boys slept over last night, so the crew was able to get an early start on day 7 of this case. Scott sighed. "This is the longest case we have ever been on. I'm running out of ideas on how to approach this case. After all that driving last night, before we head out we need to get gas. Hopefully by then I can think of a different approach to Gabriel." The crew loaded up into their vehicles with fully charged radios and a thermos filled with coffee. The whole car ride into town, Scott spent the time on the phone with the judge and the insurance company. Dewey could faintly hear the other line as he drove, but he was in his own head too. As they pulled up to the pump, Dewey motioned they were here. Scott got out but walked the other direction and motioned for Dewey to do it. "Is this all I'm good for?" he thought. He looked over to Justin, who was pumping the gas for his mom's vehicle. While Scott had wandered over there, Dewey was left alone, once again left out of the conversation. A short petite girl with dead artificial brown hair leisurely walked into the storefront of the gas station. Justin narrowed his eyes in hopes of getting a better look. "Hey, Dad, isn't that one of the girls we are looking for? The physical looks identical, but we can't strike unless we are sure. Go walk in there after her and start up a conversation." See what she's buying too. Justin chuckled on it, Pops. I'll work my charm to get her attention. If she's dumb enough to give her real name, then we know without a doubt it's her. Don't forget to tuck your badge. Beth reminded. Oh, yeah, you probably should take off your bulletproof vest that says agent on it too. Dewey chuckled. Scott motioned for everyone to gather around. Okay, while Justin is in there, we have to be prepared for the best and worst case scenario. Worst case is she isn't alone and this turns into something messy. Best case, it actually is here and the rest of the fugitives are lurking. Beth and Grace, you be prepared to tackle. Beth, you grab her, and Grace, you cuff. Dewey and I will be on the lookout for anyone trying to run up on us. With us surrounding the door, there is no way she can run. Hey, princess, you look lost. Justin grinned. The girl turned around with 2 tequila bottles in her arms, but with the biggest innocent eyes. I might just be. What's your name? He asked. Bryn. Justin smiled even bigger. Well, Bryn, it's very nice to meet you. She went to the counter as Justin whispered on his radio. Suspect confirmed, and she was knee-deep in the liquor aisle. Going on mute from here. Justin then swooped up behind her as Bryn took some crumbled bills out of her pocket. Why don't you let me pay for these? She raised her eyebrows. Okay. I can't turn that down. Justin fidgeted in his pockets. Shoot, I must have left my wallet in the car. Let me go get it and I'll be back. I can come with you, she exclaimed. Oh. Justin's face lit up. Okay. That works. Justin felt his heart beat faster as he saw the outline of his family surrounding the door. It was that same feeling he got every time they made a bust. That was like a drug to him. Freeze, girl. Beth yelled.